In other words, how do you know if your anxiety has become a problem? So 3 things to ask yourself. Yung first is, do I worry but when I wake up, and for the rest of the day, do I worry? Do I just think of that? If I look closely into my day, my daily habits, do I just worry and worry and worry and worry and worry about stuff? Meaning worst case scenarios, thinking na hindi ko kaya, ganyan. Then your anxiety has become persistent because every time you think of those things, the stress response will happen in your body. And if you, number 2, if you try to control them, suddenly you feel like, oh, I cannot control this. You just can't get out of that state of worrying. Then it will become a problem. And finally, if that happens, it becomes impairing because it paralyzes you and makes you sometimes, it can lead also to depression. So it can be impairing. If those 3 are apparent, then ako, malamang you have a problem. Papo, meron bang such thing as healthy anxiety? Yan yung mga papasukan natin. And then third is, if there's healthy anxiety, how does it go haywire? How does it go out of our control and impair us? Then finally, I'm going to share to you some strategies on how to tame our anxieties when it does go haywire. The first thing to understand about anxiety is not fear. They share characteristics. They share the same physiological state in our body, the physiological stamp of fight and flight response, anxious, stress state, but they're different. Fear is different from anxiety. And I'm going to show you 2 pictures which will distinguish these 2. First is this. Then tell me if this is fear or anxiety. Is this fear or anxiety? Kindly chat. Ano yun yung sa chat? Ano ba to? Fear or anxiety? Fear, sabi ni Christine, Annalyn, Patricia, fear. Right? It's fear. Why is it fear? Because it's a stress response to a what? To an imminent danger that's really there. So imagine this, no? That's an elephant behind you. All right? Now, this is fear. But this somehow depicts anxiety. Is there an elephant behind him? Is there a tiger lurking somewhere there outside of the image? No. Usually, it's the same response. It's the same anxious fight. It's the same fight or flight stress response. However, there's no real danger. Where does the danger reside? But as they begin to just acknowledge anxiety in their body, the cold feeling, the tensing of my body as, oh, yeah, that's anxiety in my body. And I'm going to cultivate just a mindful stance towards it. Then I begin to able to carry and bear with the anxiety the way it is. And even to a certain degree, begin to have some positive feelings towards it. All right? So it's like this. This is mindfulness for me. Yung imagine mo, the turtle is the anxiety and you're looking at it from the curiosity, open-mindedness, and even kindness and gentleness of a young infant. As if it's the first time she has discovered this crawling thing with this hard husk on top of it. Ayan. Ganyan. Just for a moment now, bring yourself, yung imagine mo, nandun ka sa loob nitong sanggol na to, na ang gaan lang ng buhay, ang tingin mo sa lahat, open, and then you're just accepting and gently accepting things, and in a sense, you have good regard for everything. Imagine mo if that's the stance you have towards your anxiety. You feel it in your body, it's making your body tense. You just accept that, yeah, it does. I'm in an anxious state. Yeah. Then go back to your breath. Go back to some reference point in your body. Then you're being mindful. Then slowly and gently, you can even begin to nurture some sort of kindness towards your anxiety. Just accepting that below this anxiety really are your dreams in life. And it's your body trying to give you the signal na, hey, those dreams are important. Just accepting that and thanking na, okay, thank you anxiety for making me just be in a state where I want to do something. Alright? Now, anxiety, ang mindfulness, there are many ways. Actually, I invite you to watch Tucci's intro to mindfulness in the RCW web, I don't know, YouTube. And there are also future workshops on mindfulness that Tucci and the other consultants will be teaching. Please join us. No, so that's it. Keep it real. So real is rein in your anxiety, engage in problem solving, affirm your resources, and then love the energy of anxiety. Okay. So anxiety and depression. Let's clarify the terms. When you say anxiety as anxiety disorders and depression as depressive disorders, they're a bit different. But in reality, dun sa aming Bible ng mga psychologists and psychiatrists, yung DSM-5, no, that's what we refer to for diagnosing people. They are different diagnoses, anxiety disorders and depressive disorders. But in reality, they come together, and they come together in different ways. For example, uh, yung isang taong may social anxiety, takot na takot siya. Ang worries niya is about being rejected all the time, so he avoids. Then because he avoids things, he avoids doing things, he begins to not feel accomplished, then he begins to feel depressed, right? So suddenly now, there's depression and anxiety there altogether. Some naman, iba, the other way around. Nauna yung depression, they begin to feel like, they're worthless people, etc. And then suddenly they begin to feel like, see, because I feel this way, I cannot accomplish anything in life, so I'm going to worry about all these things that I won't be able to do in the future. Then there's anxiety. They're a different state. They're a different disorder, in terms of the DSM-5, but they can come together. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yes, as well.
Okay.
There are some patients I notice, and they notice also together with me in our therapy na, oh, Papa, my tendency to worry and be anxious in my body and all that usually happens before the menstrual cycle, a few days before. That can also affect, definitely. And sometimes people with hyperthyroidism, with thyroid problems, their tendency to worry and to be anxious also becomes more apparent. Hmm. What if, Papa, I tried all these things, keeping it real, and yet after how many weeks or months, I still feel anxiety that gets in the way of my life and makes me unhappy. I really suggest you approach RCW or any other outfit there that provides counseling and psychotherapy, because that it might be a good time, to consult a professional if that's the case.